What's up, Internet? This is just a quick acknowledgement and shout out to YouTube user Godvids.
I'm as bad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
He is not alone. There are others like him.
Answer the question, Fox. I'm going to ask you.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
I watched his video response to my responding to his 5 questions, and I was very pleased with what I saw. I mean, it was good. It's not really how I expected him to respond at all. And in the video, he says that, my response wasn't how he expected an atheist to respond to. So I guess we're both, guilty of, probably lumping people in with a larger group of people. And, we're human, we're all guilty of that. So, just wanted to say that his videos are really good. Really good. Also, in the same video, I'd like to drop a shout to Pyro Booby. Yeah. I know it's a horrible name, but trust me, watch his videos, you will not be disappointed. This guy is funny as shit.
Hola YouTube atheists, it is now time to review your responses to my 5 loaded questions for atheists. I must say, the overall response to that video was actually quite good, and I'm very pleased to have met a lot of new people on YouTube through your responses to me. If you have not yet seen that video, the information will be in the side or the bottom, wherever it is now. I encourage you to take a look at that, and it's actually not too late to participate. The challenge was simple. I simply posed 5 questions, loaded questions, to atheist YouTubers for the sake of being able to analyze what makes you atheists and what your positions as atheists are based on. And so, by bringing some ponage upon you, I believe that I could make you better as atheists and improve the atheist movement on the internet. Someone asked me a decent question. Why would I, the big G, YouTube's only autotheist, be interested in actually helping the atheist movement on YouTube? Of course, I'm not interested in promoting atheism itself per se. I mean, it's not going to get you anywhere. But I see the atheist movement on YouTube as a stage in the intellectual development of the human species. You atheists have rightly set your sights on poning the intellectual dishonesty in religion as we know it today. And I gotta tell you, as someone that's supposed to be the object of religion, when I look around, I don't recognize myself. In fact, if I walked into most churches, they'd throw me out. I'm not welcome in most religions. They say they're praying to me, but really they're talking to the ceiling fan or something else. I don't know what they're praying to most of the time. For thousands of years, I've sent prophets and messengers into these religions trying to get them to clean themselves up a little bit, and it amounts to nothing more than arranging chairs on the deck of the Titanic. A new era for human intellectual development has begun, and atheism is leading the way. The point of the challenge was, like I said, I'm going to pwn you because I expected all of you to respond to my questions and trip up over them the way most of the atheists on YouTube tend to behave. The purpose of the challenge was to pose these loaded questions. Full disclosure, I made it clear that I was going to ask these questions and then I was going to use them against you in videos to come. A lot of atheists, although you're supposed to be intellectual, you're supposed to be educated, you're supposed to have good, valid reasons for why you hold your position in atheism, most of the YouTube atheists out there are pretty stupid and emotional and nasty, and they're no better than any of the theists that they think that they're superior than. So I put this questionnaire out, and I have to tell you, there's some faults in the way you all answered your questions. That's to be expected. They were loaded questions. But I gotta be honest with you. I'm feeling a little pwned. I'm feeling a little ponage weight on me. I had 8 video responses. I gotta tell you, all of them were actually pretty decent. I'm gonna point out the problems and the flaws and where you tripped up here and there. but for the most part, you've actually not fulfilled the stereotype of the YouTube atheist. And for that, I gotta give you commendation. And I'm gonna admit right here and now, I'm feeling a little bit of pone-ness on me, okay? I'm gonna admit that I'm big enough to Big G. You got me. The text comments, on the other hand, as expected, these bottom-dwelling atheists who can't afford webcams with YouTube channels that aren't even developed, they come in and they try to bash and they try to talk a bunch of crap. They fell all over these questions, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of minor ponying to them, but the purpose of this challenge was to address those of you that took the time to make video responses to me, so I'm going to honor all of you by showing the highs and the lows of your video responses. I just discovered that Happy Cabby gained maybe 50 subscribers through one of my videos. Didn't even realize that I had shout-out power, so I'm going to make sure that all 8 of you, I shout you out throughout these videos. In this video, I am now going to deal with the first question. Question 2 and 3 I'm going to deal with in the second part, and then we're going to wrap it up in part 3 with question 4 and 5, which are the doozies. That's where the finale comes in. Question number 1. Of the 5 questions that I asked, this should have been the easiest question to trip all over. You could word the question any way you want, but the situation that I posed to you was, you're at the deathbed of a loved one, medicine's done all they can do, you've done all they can do, there's nothing left to do but sit there and watch them die. The question was, do you pray? Now, you could exchange this with any situation. You could be on your own deathbed. Or frankly, you could be just walking down the street and having a lovely day and looking up in the sky and wondering what's out there. It doesn't really matter. The question was not, though, however, do you pray in lieu of all of your other options? The point of the question was, is it at least worth a shot once in a while to try? Now that's not an odd question to ask an atheist. As atheists, you have absolutely nothing to lose. Of course, you have nothing empirical to base such a belief on, which is why you call yourselves atheists. Now, most of you answered the question and said no. Plain simple, end of subject. Of course, we had a couple of poser atheists comment below, blasting the question as if it's absurd to even ask an atheist like that. Such responses demonstrate that you don't know nothing about atheism, you big dummy. One of the responders, Jimmy R.R. Page, of course he's a Led Zeppelin fan, I gotta give that a little bit of credit. He says, I don't know, maybe. And then Mutated Shining Finger responded, well, I can see the temptation. He essentially answered that he wouldn't pray, but he at least was astute enough to acknowledge that there's a temptation. Now, he didn't necessarily articulate what the temptation would be. Whereas Jimmy R.R. Page said, yeah, it's possible to revert back to old habits. And that's a nice concession. And understand something by Jimmy R.R. Page, who is an atheist. For him to give that concession, that doesn't make him less of an atheist. And by the way, you're not in danger of being swayed into some crazy religion because you entertain the possibilities of what might be out there. Listen, you are not primitive people afraid to go too far out in the ocean because Leviathan is going to eat your boat. Okay, so I pretty much got pwned over question number 1. But remember, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are yet to come, and there's some good ponage coming your way, I promise, alright? By taking a look at this first question and how all of you answered it and didn't trip up over it, you have an impressive group of atheists here. And by the way, besides Happy Cabby, none of these atheists are terribly well known on YouTube. And, a part of helping the atheist movement is to promote a better version of atheists that are leading the YouTube atheism movement right now. Many of you are the future of atheism on YouTube, if I have anything to say about it. And I hope that all of you watching this video will go check out these up-and-coming rising stars in the atheist YouTube community. Come on back next week. I will have part 2 of this challenge where I will cover question number 2 and 3. And understand I'm trying to squeeze this in because I am in heavy training for Coughlin's Ponage Olympics. By all means, go check that out as well. I'll see y'all next week. Peace. God bless atheism.